Hey guys, welcome to Tiny House Customs. I'm Dan. In today's video, I'm going to hook this wood stove up to a pipe and bring it outside and fire it up. Hopefully we'll do that by the end of the video. Have our first fire and ruin that beautiful paint job I did. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to put this. One concern I have is that I need it to be at least 8 feet back from the table saw. So from the blade to here, I'm not. I got to come back another, I think, 2 or 3 feet. And then also, if I'm ripping long, like 16 footers or something, which I never will, but it'll be a 1x6 if I ever rip it. So 6 inches off of that blade, 16 feet. You know, I need to be past this. So it's going to be real close to that wall. It's probably going to be too close for the paint on the wall, but you know, a couple fires will burn that paint off. So I'm going to lift this thing up and move it backwards, hopefully. Just using a 1.5 ton car jack. What are they? Also, when I'm venting this out, I want to put the hole somewhere where there's going to be a future opening. So I did put a mark here and there, and I believe that's where the door was going to go. I wish I had spray painted those final plates I put down because I felt like those were good. But then I might change the layout. So, you know, if I have to do a little patch job on it, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But I'm thinking I'm going to go right there. All this stuff you can't see, but right here there's a generator and a movable workbench. I'm going to get rid of the generator. That's going to go into the barn. The other workbench I'll push back. I got a table over there that I can move over here. Move anything flammable away. Also, the wood stove, if it's here, I can still work good here, and I can still work good there, which are the two spots that I'll spend most of my time in, as well as the table saw. That might be the stupidest thing I've ever done. It's up there, not the brightest bulb in the box. I am putting it up on some concrete blocks just to get it up off the floor a little bit. Don't want that heat. I know the heat's not going to radiate down too bad, but I don't want to start a fire on the floor like I did yesterday. That was stupid. That's a gasket that just got blown. So like I was saying in yesterday's video, you can see the firebox through this hole right here, which means flames are going to be coming up through here, come into here, and they're going to go into my single wall chimney pipe. I'm just going to be using your, typical tin single wall chimney pipe. This stuff is like $10. This piece right here is 24 inches by a 6-inch diameter, and it was about 10 bucks. That same pipe, but in the double wall, is like 5 times the cost. I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks. So one concern I have is that I'm going to burn out my pipe right in this area. I mean, up here it's going to be fine, hopefully, but I feel like this area is going to be high risk. So what I did was cut some 2-inch flat bar, 1/4 inch thick. I'm just going to take 2 pieces like this and place them right here. So the flames are going to come up, hit that, roll around it, and then come out the sides here. There's voids all back here. This whole top thing is open. The heat will stay inside of this thing for longer before it starts coming out the pipe. So first thing I want to do is hook up my first piece of pipe. My goal is to get a hole in this right here. Once I get it out, get a hole there, I'll be good. So it's got this, perforated edge here and then a non-perforated edge. Obviously the perforated edge is going to have to go in there. But one problem that I have with this is now this pipe is going to connect in like that, and smoke can get out this way. You really want this pipe to go in this direction so that when the smoke's coming up out of the pipe, it can't skip out the sides. It's going to roll past that joint. So what I need to do is perforate this edge right here so I can get a pipe over it. They sell this tool right here. It's just got a bunch of teeth like that, and then when you squeeze down on it, it puts those perforations into the metal. So you just take it and you work your way around the whole pipe and you put perforations. So now I got a pipe that's, I hope perforated is the right word, because if it ain't, well, you sound pretty stupid. Man, I don't know why it's so smoky and hazy in here. It's really not that bad. Maybe the camera's got to heat up. All right, I'm done. I tried to fix the cloudiness, but I think it'll be all right. I don't know. I think there's some moisture inside the lens, but hopefully it's not too bad. Sorry. I know it's ideal to have a chimney go straight up out the roof. The least, twists and bends in the pipe, the more efficient the wood stove will run, or the better it'll run. But I really am totally against putting a hole in the ceiling. I did roofing for many years, and any type of hole that was in your roof, it increases your possibilities of a leak significantly. Plus, because I'm dealing with metal here, I would have to do a lot of other stuff up there. And then in the long run, this is not going to stay in here. This will eventually be a house maybe. So I don't want to put a hole through the roof. I want to put a hole through where I'm going to eventually have some type of opening. So a window or a door hopefully will go right here. I'm a little off, but that's all right. It'll be okay. So I'm going to come up 2 feet. I'm going to go out with a pipe, and then I'm going to do another elbow, and I'm going to bring it up. That's about 4 feet to the top of the container. I'm going to go another 2 feet above the container so you get good airflow across the top of the chimney pipe, and then we'll cap it off. But I do want to put in a damper into this just so I can have a little more control over it. So I picked up one of these, goes inside the pipe. I think that was like 10 bucks. You end up with this, and then you drill a hole in the pipe, and this slides in there. Let me see if I can get this. This slides into the pipe, then you twist it when it's in there, push it in farther, push it to where the spring is pushed in all the way, and then you twist it so that thing's up and it locks back into that slit right there. And that won't fall off once it's in the pipe. So I drilled that one hole, and then I put the piece in, put this in there, got a mark, figured out where I could get it like half and half, and then I put a little mark with the end of it, and then I drilled another hole on the other side. When you're pushing this in, it's kind of hard. You gotta deform the pipe a little bit to get that thing in there. So then once that's in there, the spring right here creates friction on that, so it'll stay any way you put it. Getting it? Following me? So these connectors right here, you can change the angle of them. If you just twist this a little bit, you can make it a steeper angle. So, you know, highly adjustable angles, but I want it to be perfect 90-degree angles, so. That's the top. That's the side. I think I'm going to have some wiggle room, so I don't think this needs to be perfect. If this was regular framed house, not a steel building, definitely want to do something totally different than what I'm doing here. I'm just going to run that pipe out. I'll probably leave like a ½ inch gap, and then I'll come back with some rock wool and stuff it into that little gap right there. I don't have any fear of this burning. It will melt the paint a little bit, but it's only going to melt it so much until it finally hits the end. So now I'm going to cut a ½ inch outside that line. I got a feeling I'm going to end up doing a hack job here with the angle grinder. What about those fancy hole saws you bought? Hey, nah, I don't have that size. I thought it came with every size you had. All right. Beautiful. Plenty of them. So I got rivets, and I was thinking about riveting this together, but I also got these number 8 ½ inch screws, you know, typical stuff. You can buy that big box store. All this stuff you can. Last thing I want is this chimney to fall apart inside the house. One problem is this piece of pipe that comes out of the chimney is like a ½ inch thick piece of steel. So I doubt I'll be able to. I might put one screw here. You know what? I will. I'm going to say, I'm going to do it. It's going to take a while to drill it though. Ow. Ow. So I put 2 screws in there. I was able to drill those out. So this can't come out anymore. This is staying in there. Might get a little smoke through here. We'll see. I think I might be able to use some fire caulk. I don't know if you can put that, like, I don't know. But we'll see. I don't think it'll be smoky. And then also this thing had fallen off, so I put some washers in right behind that. That way it's a little tighter. And then when I put these screws in, you know, dumb me, but This is closed off. This is open all the way. So it can still get full motion. I just can't twist it 360 degrees. Everything's done inside here. I'm ready to go outside, but I'm gonna do a lot of the assembly. I just basically have a long chimney. Let's just get a couple measurements. You know, I was gonna do 3 pieces, but this is 3 feet. So I think 2 of them, yeah, it'll be close. I mean, do I need to? I think I'm just gonna do two pipes up, and then we'll see if it needs more. I don't think it will. I think it'll be all right. And then I really haven't thought about how I'm gonna attach it. I did buy a bracket. So when you get the chimney pipe, it comes like this, not connected. There's just a little like tongue and groove thing. These get locked in together. You kind of have to deform the pipe to connect it. And then, you know, once you've connected it, then you can just reform the pipe into the right shape. But all I'm gonna do is just screw these together. So I was trying to keep this really like budget friendly, and like a chimney cap top was pretty expensive. I think most of them were stainless steel. So they were, you know, pretty expensive. And so what I was thinking of doing was just kind of some hack work. I was gonna take one of these pipes, go like this, and then screw it here and here. I might cut it so it's about 1.5 feet, and I'll make like a chimney top like that. It'll be, you've seen it before, I'm sure. Seen it on TV before. Probably should have left maybe screws so if the wind flow maybe will affect it. I don't know. I think it'll be fine. So I did buy one of these straps to strap this. Now this is for your insulated pipe, so it doesn't fit this tightly. I'm gonna jerry rig something. It's not gonna look pretty. You know, I'm all about doing decent work, but this is not going to be like that close to the thing. I'm going to have to pat it out. But I can go install this, but it's pitch black out. And I want to have a fire. And today's my last day off. So last night what I did was I hooked that strap up right there to a piece of 2x4, probably a bad idea, but hooked the chimney up. It's not pretty looking by any means, but as you can see it's working, which in this video you haven't seen that it's working yet, but afterthought clip. So I'm gonna burn everything that I would cut in here. I cut a lot of pine, so I've got this bucket. My grandfather used to always bring stuff like this over to my house. I loved it. Like, oh, that was for me as a child. Like, that was, oh, like any toy you could get a kid, that to me was like heaven. Like, oh, really? I can do stuff with this. Little liquid get her going. Little, hey, how you doing? That's actually drafting. I can hear that rumble. You know, wood stove makes like a rumble. It's drafting, I can hear it. So these bolts on the end here, these big things right here, I think this was like an after thing. So, you know, the guy was, something fell off and he replaced it with this. So if you just keep them off the door a little bit, it'll let air in through those holes that are in there. I really didn't want to modify anything, but I noticed when I was cleaning it that there was a hole on the bottom. That hole needs to be welded up. Pino, what do you think? I think this is great. Can I get a bed right next to it, please? Non-combustible, preferably. You got it, Peanut. I'm gonna let that thing get up hot and then we'll talk. So I had a fire in the wood stove the other day. It did really well. When I burnt all those pine blocks, they were real dry, so this thing burned really hot, and I did have some of the paint start smoking off. Up here was the first spot that it started doing it, and that was because of that piece of metal I put in. The flames came around and hit that top first. This started going a little bit, and then the sides of this top section started to smoke off too. Some of the paint started smoking. This metal on this wall didn't get hot where you couldn't keep your hand on it. There was the only spot, which was kind of, well, I guess it makes sense, but this area right here was too hot to touch. Overall, I would say this thing puts out 5 to 6 times the amount of heat as the kerosene heater. It worked great. Obviously, I'm going to have hotter and hotter fires in this thing. After I burned all the pine blocks, I started burning, you know, everyone's got that pile of wood leaned up against a tree on their yard and the wood's just real spunky. But yeah, this stuff is just, you know, almost dirt. But I burned all that and it burned it, but it wasn't a hot fire. My next video, I'm going to make this thing stupid hot. I'm gonna burn the shit out of it. I'm gonna go get some dry wood and I'm gonna make a rager in it to get all that paint to come off, if it will come off. I don't know. Was it a bad idea painting it? Yes and no. I think it looks so much better than it did when I got it. Another thing I did was put this piece of 1-inch square box tubing in here to raise the chimney up, and then I stuffed rock wool insulation. You may have heard me say rock sole, what I use all the time. Rock sole has purchased the name rock wool. In every other country, rock sole is called rock wool, and in America there was a company that came and trademarked it in America, so they finally purchased that rights to the word rock wool. So rock sole is now rock wool in America. Make sense? I thought rock sole was cool. I thought that was a unique name, but rock wool. It's rock wool is what it is. That is what is inside a double wall pipe. I found this the other day. I bought it. I thought I threw it out. Glad I didn't throw it out. I could have put it there, or I could have put it here and got an elbow, you know? But whatever, project's done. I'm happy with it. So I'm definitely happy with this purchase, this setup. I do want to thank I didn't do this in the last episode, but I do want to thank my Patreon supporters. Last month's Patreon earnings purchased this unit, and then this month's Patreon earnings, so December, purchased all this chimney pipe. Kinda. I mean, money's money. It all goes into one pit and then it gets spent. I mean, I spent a lot of my money, but I use that money that comes in from Patreon as well as those YouTube earnings to buy things to make content with, if that makes sense. But I am going to do a couple more videos on this topic, and then we're going to jump into something else. One of the first things that I want to make for the shipping container house is a door. I want to close that off. I want to open it up, but close it off, if that makes sense. I want to keep the doors open, weld in some metal, and put a window on the end there. So that's something I want to do, but before I do that, I need to put an access door on the side. So those are things that I'm planning on doing soon. And yeah, I guess you can look forward to that. If you're new to my channel and you like this kind of content, make sure you hit the subscribe and give it a thumbs up. If you have some knowledge you want to throw down in that comment section, tell me what I did wrong. I mean, it works, and I didn't burn the place down. Yes, it's close to the wall. Just trying to combat the comments that I'm going to get. But it's fine, okay? I know you purists are going to have a problem with it, but it's going to work just fine. So, but if you do have any useless knowledge, you can throw it down in that comment section below, and I'll look at it, shake my head. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Peanut?
Yeah, I was in this video a lot. You don't need to put me in it again.
Okay. Okay. Couldn't remember.